everyone, Marilyn here with Just Imagine, a platform created to touch and inspire with the goal of transforming every generation one life at a time. So I want to welcome each and every one of you to another conversation about understanding the growth process. Last week we talked about understanding the seasons, and it was announced that we would be covering the seeds this week. Honestly, I attempted to post this video from Tuesday, but the content just could not come together. I understand there are so many other topics available on the subject. I did not want to sound like a broken record, and also I wanted to communicate it in a way that ties into the specific conversation we are having currently as a community, and I just could not get it to work. So I'm very excited and glad that today is finally the day I get to have that conversation with all of you guys. So I've decided to approach this topic in light of sowing and reaping, keeping in mind that sowing and reaping is a basic concept of life, that at any given moment there's constantly that exchange taking place of sowing and reaping. Genesis chapter 8 verse 22 puts it beautifully when it says that as long as the world remains, seed time and harvest time will not cease. First, I have about 3 things that I want us to take from this conversation. The first one is that you always have seeds in your hands. I want us to picture ourselves as, seed carriers, because human beings at any given moment, we have like a bag of seeds, like a variety pack in our hands, that regardless of having conversation with a friend or family member in person, online, or over the phone, interacting with our outside world, the activities that we do, like getting dressed, having a meal, so all those can represent the topic of sowing and reaping. They are probably harvest from previous actions, previous conversations, and at the same time they are seeds into future conversations, future actions. So for those of you arguing, well, I don't have any seeds in my hands, I beg to differ. You are alive, you have breath in your lungs. At any given moment, anything can happen. Actually, the fact that you are tuning in and then you're watching this video, it is a seed that you're actually sowing into your life, into your future. So for any further context about that one, you can always go back and watch the video, what's in your hand. And I think it does a great deal of talking or expanding on that. The second thing I want to bring is the fact that the fruit or the harvest always supersedes the seed. You don't just sow a seed and get it exactly in the same form that you sow it. You usually get a fruit and you get an abundance of the seed that you previously sowed. That's where intentionality comes in. One of my personal prayer is this: God, help me not to sow it unless I intend to harvest it. Where does that apply? If you sow kindness, you're gonna reap a harvest of kindness down the road. The same way, if you sow dishonor or deceit, you're gonna reap these things exponentially somewhere down the road. So that's why we have to be mindful of our actions, of our words, of how we carry ourselves altogether. So the third thing I want us to take away from this conversation is that between the time the seed is sown and the harvest, there is a time lapse. That's where understanding the seasons come into play. So that will give us the boldness or the courage, I would say, to speak life into situations that look dead or hopeless. So I'm going to share with you guys an excerpt from my journal from about 3 years ago, where I was in a situation where I felt broken and I questioned my very identity. So nothing made sense. But for whatever reason, I pinned these words, and it says, I have confidence that these dry bones will live again. You will strengthen my hands to build something from the ashes. You did not bring me this far to forsake me. You did it before. You can certainly do it again. You are the same God yesterday, today, and forever. You know, it took 3 years for me to be present to the impact of those words that were written earlier. So that's a very good picture of seed and harvest exchange. The fact is, those words 3 years ago, they were seeds into my future. But it did not start there. At the same time that they were seeds into my future, they were actually harvests from seeds that were sown into my spirit earlier, because these words did not just like pop up from there. They were already planted there, and that's when I actually harvested them. So at the same time they were harvest, they were actually seeds sown into my future. So that brings me to this conclusion pretty much. What I want to leave with you guys are these specific statements. Don't stop sowing. The best way to value a seed is by sowing it. Don't overlook your seed. Do not eat them. Do not trample them under your feet. Do not devalue them. Treasure them. Honor them by sowing them. And also the last thing is, consider that you have the seeds to the harvest that you desire. So I hope the content was helpful to you guys, and I'm looking forward to have another conversation with you. So until we meet again, I want to thank you one more time for joining us in this conversation. Again, this is Marilyn with Just Imagine, and you can keep in touch with me via Facebook or Instagram. The links are in the About section, and feel free to subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. Also, like, comment, and share this video with others you think it might be helpful to. So I'll see you guys next week. Until then, you guys have a great day.